A lot of you have been in question about what brush to use for starting out. If you just want one brush to do your face, the most popular brush is that 3D brush. So you have a more defined end where you can be putting on your brightening highlight, and then you have your fluffier end that can be used as like a multi-purpose. You can squeeze it in to help with your contour, or you can use it just as is for your mane to put it all over. So I'm going to show you how to use it a little bit. So first I'll go through the palette that I have. Now this palette, this is a 12 palette. 12 palette is typically the one this will hold for me. Maybe things that I'll use in a day, just because I like to go through different colors. I like to have a few of them that I put on. Some people, they can do a 4 or an 8, but for me, I don't really go less than a 12 because it holds a lot of the stuff in really good. This is the silver compact. So the silver one, the reason why this is, I think this is my favorite one. It's got the awesome tab on here to help with opening it. The material is also wonderful. So the material is one, when I clean my brushes, I clean them every week. And when I clean them, I have that microfiber cloth with that brush cleaner already on it. So normally what I do is I take out all the tins, and I'll just do a quick wipe down, just because these are so small and it takes like maybe a minute or two to do. And then it wipes, because when you're constantly dipping that brush in, it's going to be getting some of the cream on the side. So then you can just get that cream off. And for the silver one, all of them, they wipe clean. But for the silver one, I found that it just wipes really easily for me comparing to the other ones. So I'm going to open it up. On the top, this is where I have my creams for it. I typically don't like to mix the cream and the powders, only because I don't want the powders to end up in my creams. This is then where my powders are, and then I also have my lip conditioner in there as well. But these are the colors that I'm going to be using today, so I'll go over it real quick. Here's Salem. This is the eyeshadow. What I use for this one is, sometimes I'll use this one as an eyeliner. So I can use my multitasker brush, and I can use this with the setting spray, and I can go in and use it, and it will be a defined eyeliner. Then I have the Oak eyeshadow. This one for me, you can use contour on your eyebrows, but I actually prefer to use the Oak with setting spray on my eyebrows. And then this is also a favorite one too, where I can use on as a regular eyeshadow as well too. This one goes with a lot of my stuff, so I really like that one. This is the Crush, it's called. Now on it, I don't know if you can see it or not, it has a little bit of a shimmer to it, as does Sabrina. I mentioned this before, Sabrina and Cupcake, they're kind of similar in color where they're light. Cupcake is more of the matte, and Sabrina has the little bit of a shimmer to it. Then this is the Powder Illuminator, and then the setting powder. So I did a setting spray already. I did that before I did my makeup. You don't need to do that. I like to do it because it helps keep the makeup on. And then at the very end, when I'm all done with my makeup, I will use the setting powder to help keep it on, but it will also help with the shine as well. And then here is that lip conditioner that I use before I do my makeup. And then my creams. So these are very well loved. But I have my Candlelit, that's my main. My main is right here, that's the Candlelit. I have White Peach for my brightening highlight. My contour I have as Olive. Now these three, they will be different for every person. This all depends on your skin tone. So if you want to be color matched, feel free to let me know, and we can figure out which colors would be best for you. And then this is a lot of people's favorite bronzer. This is Bella. I love this one. When you're looking at people, a lot of times they just automatically do bronzer with it. So it may look like they're a darker color for their tone, when in reality they just have that bronzer on, and it gives it that sun-kissed glow. And I love the bronzer. Then normally my favorite lip and cheek is Plum, but today I'm going to do a different one. This is Black Cherry, and it looks really dark on here. This is one of them that I was extremely hesitant to get. I was talking with people, and I'm thinking, well, why would anybody want like a black colored lip? Like, it's so popular. Like, I don't see a whole bunch of people posting all these things about this black color, but Black Cherry, it's not black. It's very deceiving in here. It's like a a red, kind of a maroonish in a way. It's very beautiful on. It goes really great with cheeks too. So I'm gonna show you guys that one. So again, this is the 3D brush that I'm gonna be starting with. So before I do anything, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go in my compact and I'm gonna go for my lip conditioner. This will help prime my lips. So I'm just gonna put that on real quick. And I already did my setting spray to help prime my face. So the reason why I'm doing that lip conditioner first is it gives it time just to soak in so you can really feel all those properties, so it can help everything stay better. So while that's soaking in, I'm going to go and I'm going to start with the face colors right away. So what I like to do is use my brightener first. So my brightener, again, this is the white peach. So I'm going to go. When I do it, I'm taking on that 3D brush, I'm going in on that more defined tip, and I'm going to just stipple it on there. So you can see when I'm stippling it, it's getting quite a bit already. So you don't swipe it, you just kind of want to stipple it. If your cream is kind of more stiff, you can warm it up a few different ways. Some people use just a hair dryer, just a real quick going over. If they're already drying their hair, it's quick for them to do it. I personally just leave my hair. I am losing a lot of hair the way it is, so I just leave my hair and let it dry from, God will just dry it with the air. So I go and I can just breathe on it. I don't really need to today, but I'll just show you. You can just give it a few warm breaths and it will warm it up, and that's all there is to it. Or you can even put your hand over it. You can take the tin right out, put it on the palm of your hand, and that can help warm it up as well. So you can just, breathe over it if you want. So go, just have that warmth. It will start making it kind of tacky. All right, so mine, again, it was already tacky, so I don't really have to do it. But this is the brightener. I'm gonna start right on that inside right here. I wanna cover up, I kind of have just a little bit of darkening right there. So I kind of wanna follow down right here when I do my brightening. So I'm just going down, just following that. And I'm not going to be rubbing it in right away. This is just gonna be leaving it. And then I'm gonna follow up here, and I'm gonna do another line going up a little bit on both sides. Now, if you notice, I have right now, there's nothing right here and there's nothing right here. What you could do is you can put in a little bit later, you can put in your main color, or you can just leave it, because as you're stippling it in, it's going to get in that area. You don't want the high, for me, for people, for younger individuals who, I have a little bit, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bit of wrinkling right here. So it doesn't look like much, but it's enough where it's a crease. So if you put a brightening in there, it will kind of accentuate that crease. So if anything, if you want to put anything in there, put the main in there. Don't put the brightening highlight, because you don't want that accentuated. All right, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, so I have one here, 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 and here. I'm going to take one now and just kind of go down the center of my face. This is where the light hits your face. This is where you want that brightening, is right there. So that's what this is doing, is it's getting where that light hits your face. You're creating dimension with it. So now I'm done with this end. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be flipping that brush over, and I'm going to be taking that fluffier end. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do my contour. I'm going to contour everything. I found my nose. I'm going to do everything except for my nose. My nose I do last, because it's one of those that you, for me, I've noticed it's easier to blend in, and you don't want that completely blended. You want your nose to stay defined. So I like to do it last, but you can do it however you want. So I'm going to take that fluffy end, and I'm just going to kind of squeeze it a little bit. So when you squeeze it, it gives it a kind of, it kind of gives it more shape, so you can follow that bone a little bit better. So you're going to be putting it, here is your cheekbone. So when you put your contour on, you have the corner of your eye right here. So you're going to kind of stop at the corner of your eye. So right over here, and you're following that cheekbone. Now your cheekbone, you're just going to go a little bit up from the base. The reason why you're going a little bit up from the base, you don't want to go too low, is because you kind of want to have that dimensional look of kind of a face lift. You want that shadow to go up a little bit more. just to show that shadow right there for the dimension facelift. So again, corner of the eye and kind of the tip of your ear. If you don't really know where that bone is, if you're having a hard time feeling it, it's the upper part of your ear. So you're just doing a line right there. All right, so again, squeezing that brush a little bit, and then I'm doing it in that olive contour, and I'm not swiping it. I'm just going to be just dabbing it on. My contour is a little bit lighter, so it's a little bit harder to see because my face is really light, so that's the type of contour that I have with my face and my hair. Where others, it might be more dark when you see it, but mine is just slightly different color. So I'm gonna go right here and just kind of, in a way, stamp that on. So you can see that side, and then I'm gonna do the other side. And again, I'm following that, and I'm gonna stop at the corner of my eye. So right here, and that's all there is to that. Then what I have is I'm going to take the brush now, and again, I'm going to just dab it on there. And then I'm going to do the top of my forehead. What that does is it's creating where that shadow is above your forehead. You're going to kind of show that dimension as well. So I'm just going to rub it on there, maybe a little bit more. Now what I'm going to do is underneath your chin, for me, I have that little bit of a double chin kind of start, just a little bit. And you want to kind of hide that in a way. So I'm going to be putting it, you don't put it above it because then it won't do anything, but see how there's that shadow right here? I'm going to be kind of following that shadow, and I'm going to be putting contour there. Again, it's to help that dimension, to give it that shadow and kind of hide that double chin a little bit. So again, I'm not going above it, I'm going below it, and I'm just going to be following it below. And I'll put a little bit more on. All right, now I'm just gonna let this sit. Don't forget to blend that bottom chin part in too. I have already walked around. My husband's like, oh, you got a little something right there. I completely forgot to blend it. So you're letting it melt on your face, but try to remember to blend it at the very end. All right, now I used to do my nose first, but I'm gonna let my nose just hold off, and I'm gonna do that at the very end. Instead, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go into my mane. So my mane for me is Candlelit. So I'm just going to, again, don't swipe it. I'm just going to stipple it or dab it on there. Now what I'm going to do is everywhere where it does not have the cream right now, I can put for that mane. Now when I do this, if you want full coverage, especially if you're younger, if you are one wanting more full coverage, you can put it everywhere you want. Like you can put a little bit heavier if you want, but it may give that cakey feeling where it's encouraged to do lighter, because a lot of people, you want it more natural, especially if you're older. You don't want a ton of it on. You don't want it to be filling in where wrinkles and such are. You just want a little bit of lightness. So right here for me, I have a little bit of red. It's not bad. If it was more red, I would use June first, the color June for me, just to kind of June or even Aspen to get the redness, but it's not bad. So I'm just going to use my mane, and I'm going to start there, and I'm just going to go all over. And this is just from putting it in that one time. It's going to give all this color. I'm not continuously re-dipping. So that was from one. Now I'm going to re-dip again. And then I'm going to go on this side. So I'm going to start on the cheek just for me because it's a little bit redder. So I want the most to go in that area. And I'm just going to follow where there's no cream. And I also kind of want to get into where that, where those nostril lines are for me. All right, so that already you can see is all done. Now I'm going to dip it one more time, and I'm going to do my forehead with it. So for me, I have not done my eyes yet. So I'm going to actually put a little bit. You can use this as primer as well for your eyes, for your eyeshadow before you put that on. So I'm just going to put it right over there. All right, so it looks kind of funny because it's not blended in. So now that I have it all in there, I'm going to go back and blend it. So I'm going to start out with the main color and just blend it really good. I'm kind of stippling it. I'm not doing hardcore circles. And the reason why I am personally not is because my skin, it's starting to get a little bit more mature, and then I just kind of want to get it inside, inside of the skin a little bit more rather than just over the top. So I'm just going to be stippling it on really good. If you have completely flawless skin, like if you're younger and that's fine. You can do it however you want to do it. There is no wrong way of doing it. It's all on preference. So I'm just going in. Now I'm on the outside now, and I'm on the bottom of my eyes right now, and I'm gonna flip it back to this one just so I can do the inside corners with that more defined edge. And I'm just gonna stipple it on. Be very gentle when you're doing underneath there because of the elasticity. Remember, you want to be gentle because the more you're pulling and stretching, the easier you're going to lose that elasticity. So just be very gentle over there. So there, I think that's pretty good. And if you notice that too, after you're all done, like when you're doing eyeshadow, you can just go back and just kind of reblend that a little bit by the eyes. So I'm going to reflip it to that fluffy end, and I'm going to do that shadow above my, kind of by the hairline, and I'm going to brush it back into the hairline. You want to blend it into it because you don't want a defined line separating your skin from your hairline, so you're just kind of brushing it back. Then I'm going to do this so I don't forget it. So you're just blending that in for the contour below my chin and jawline. Okay, then I have the contour lines right here. For these, I don't do a ton with it because I'm going to be putting bronzer on after, so I want it a little bit dark still in there, so I'm just going to flick it up a little bit, and that's it. Maybe a little more. Okay, then this side, flick it up a little bit, and that's it. I still want the line, and I'm going to be putting blush over the top of that anyways, so it'll help get it a little bit darker, but again, I want it darker because I'm going to be putting that bronzer on. So now I'm going to go back. I did not do my nose, and I want to contour my nose. So I'm going to use that fluffy side, squeeze it just a little bit, and this is the contour that I'm going in, and I'm going to follow that line up there and do the other side. Follow, there's that, not line, but shadow up my nose. So it's giving it more definition for it, and then I'm just going to blend it down and underneath my nose. Now going up my nose, remember, was that brightener. So I'm just going to go back and just make sure that's still on there too. There. And you can, I don't know if you can see it very good, but it has now that definition for it. So again, you can try to see the definition or the dimension of the contour here, and on my nose, and then a little bit on my chin as well. So now I'm going to go back. And I'm going to go into that black cherry lip and cheek. Now, the lip and cheeks are very pigmented, so I'm going to take that fluffy end, and I'm going to just put it on a little bit. Now, look at right here. It's so pigmented. You don't want to swipe it. You just want to do a couple dabs on there. So this is all preference on how you want to do your lip and cheek. So you're going to want to go above the contour, but how far you want to do it, completely up to you. Some people do like it really rosy cheeks. I personally do not. So for me, I feel like I have red cheeks the way it is. I just want it just above that contour. So I'm going to go and I'm just going to follow up. And it looks kind of dark right now, but we will blend it in. So there's one side and there's the other side. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is flick it up. And if you feel like you just put too much on, that's okay. It's cream makeup and it blends really well. So you just kind of can brush it back into the hairline a little bit. Just like that. And I might put a little bit more contour on. My contour is so light that sometimes I like to go back and just correct it a little bit. But doesn't that look nice? I mean, I kept it a little bit darker right now. I personally have them lighter if I don't do bronzer, but with bronzer, I'm going to be doing it a little bit darker for it. And I'm just going to go back in for me and just do a little bit more contour following that line. And blend it all in together. And that's it for it. So now what I'm going to do, the bronzer is one that I really think the only brush that you can use to make that one look good is the blush and bronzer brush. The reason, so you can do your face, you can do a lot of different brushes, you can make them work for your face, but the blush and bronzer brush is really important to have for the bronzer because you have that fluffy one. The bronzer, what this is for is to put over your makeup. You're not blending it into your makeup. You're just doing a light over your makeup just to give that sun-kissed glow. So you're going to take that. This is, again, the brush and bronzer. You can either buy this separately or you can get it in, it's in a pack with the bronzer. So I got this originally with a pack with the Bella bronzer. So I'm going to take that fluffy end and just dab it on. And here's what it looks like on there. And I'm going to do one side to show you how that looks, so you can compare the two sides. So, and I love this stuff. I'm so white and pasty that for me, it looks really nice when I put this one on. Down by my chin a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm going on this outside right here to put the bronzer. And I'm not rubbing, I'm just doing these like dabbing or stippling it in. So there's that side. I'm going a little bit over that cheeks, my cheeks, because that's also where you got it, and a little bit down. And then I'm following my jawline, but not below it, but on top of it a little bit, and then over my chin, and then my nose too. All right, so you have this side that has the bronzer right now, and this side does not. So you can see right here, it's kind of white on this side, and this one has that more color, looking like I have somewhat of a tan and it's the middle of winter. So, so I'm gonna go back and do my other side, but this is why I love the bronzer so much. And again, I will just use this sometimes without any makeup. I'll just go and I'll put the bronzer on if I'm going out. So I'm gonna do this other side, and I'm leaving right here because that's where, for me, I kind of like it because it's where that the light hits it. So I don't necessarily, for me, want to put bronzer right there, but I'm gonna rather go on the outside of the face. And down here a little bit. So that's it for the bronzer. Now I could definitely go out like this, or I could continue doing a little bit more. Completely up to you what you want to do. Whoops. And again, I used, just for this, the black cherry, and then I used my three main colors. So I have my brightening highlight, so this is the white peach. I have my main, the candlelit, and then I have my contour, which is olive, and again, yours will be a little bit different. And then I have the bronzer right here. Now, if you can see on the compact, it got a little bit, from me using the brushes, it got a little bit dirty right here. I don't have something to wipe it off. I wish I would have grabbed something, but it's so simple to wipe off when you're all done. With the silver one, you can literally go, you can see with my finger, I can just wipe it. It's so simple to clean off after, which is great. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this one. I'm going to have a follow-up video where I'm going to be showing you some stuff on how to do my eyebrows and the eyeshadow and the eyeliner. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. And again, if you would like the shopping link, I have it in the announcements. And with it changing from month to month, I will be having it, just trying to post in the announcements primarily, so those links don't get confused. If you are having a hard time finding the link, feel free, let me know and I can message the link right to you, or I can post it, or whatever you would like. So anyways, I hope you learned a lot. Have a great day.